Ducktales! So I went and traded in Champions of Norath that I got at the garage sale and the 360 remote that I had been holding on to, and decided to pick up Ducktales. I just paid cash for this. I had like saved up enough points. I had used a $10 off coupon, so they had it priced at $24.99. Used the coupon, ended up paying about 14 bucks for it, but definitely glad to have this one because, I mean, the game's awesome. I loved this show when I was a kid. I can probably still recite the whole theme song, and since it's been delisted or whatnot, it's been going up in value, and yeah, it's just a cool one to throw in my collection. What's up, everybody? Nerdvana here. It's Sunday evening, and I found a pretty sweet garage sale this weekend, so I was gonna just go over that and show some of the things I picked up. I went there he listed it Thursday night, and so I went Friday morning, and he was pretty firm on his prices for all of his games at $5 each. So I grabbed a few things that day, and he said he'd start cutting deals on Sunday, and so I ended up going back today and getting more for much cheaper. He was at $2 a piece by the time I got there after work today, and had a free pile going too. So I'll start off with when I went Friday here. These were all $5 a piece. I spent $50 total. Got Super Mario Land for the Game Boy. Pretty awesome shape. I've actually been playing that one, and it's a lot of fun. So I was really excited to find all these Game Boy games. I got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Fall of the Foot Clan. Just another really cool one. Super good shape, label and everything. And then got Ducktales, which that label's a little bit damaged, but that's pretty awesome. I'm a big Ducktales fan, so I was glad to find that. And then I got Shadowgate Classic, Game Boy Color one, I believe. Which, I don't know much about Shadowgate, but I think it's like a dungeon crawler, kind of RPG style, so I thought that was cool to just add to the collection there. And then last for the Game Boys, I got, this label's a little bit beat up too, but Conker's Pocket Tales. I don't think I've ever played any Conker's game, but I know the Xbox and the 64 one are worth some money. This one's not worth too much, but nevertheless, I'm still glad to grab that and add that to my collection. And then I got a few PS2 games as well. I got Mortal Kombat Deception, complete, the manual and everything. And this one looks really cool. I've never played it, but it's got like a chess combat mode and a puzzle combat. So I'm actually really excited to try that one out. And Mortal Kombat's always pretty excellent. This was probably the one I was most excited for. I've been searching for this game for a while at a decent price, and it's Dirge of Cerberus, I'm not sure. Final Fantasy VII spin-off kind of sequel starring Vincent Valentine. I never played this one myself. I feel like maybe I watched my older brother play it at one point, but yeah, that one's complete. Excited to add that to the collection, and probably going to be one I'm going to try out here soon. And then Fatal Fury Battle Archives Volume 1. This one should be pretty sweet. It's got Fatal Fury 1, 2, 3, and Special all on one disc. That one's complete. This one's in like mint condition. It looks like it's never even been played, so that was a pretty cool pickup there. And then lastly, the best one, pretty much paid for the whole lot. Like I said, I paid $50 total. Got Budokai Tenkaichi 3. This one does not have a manual, and unfortunately, out of all of them, this one I can't get to work, which, I don't know. The disc looks to be in good shape. It looks like kind of scratched up right around like before the circle here, which I don't know. I've never seen that, but I tried it a few times and couldn't get it to go, so I'm gonna take that to my local retro shop and spend $2 to get it resurfaced. Hopefully that'll get it working. And I actually had a spare case for this already that I found in the outlets a long time ago in Vancouver, just empty case. So I swapped it out because it had the one I grabbed at the sale had the bonus disc thing here, but it didn't actually come with that bonus disc, and this case was in a little better shape, so probably just add that to the collection. Pretty sweet pickup. That was $50, and I also got, I mean, that was $5 per game right there. Oh, and I got Champions in Norath, which I already had that one, so I just traded Champions into GameStop for, it was $8.80 in credit, which wasn't a huge profit or anything, but trying to build my credit up and maybe get a Switch or something in the near future. So, you know, that was nice to, I took that Xbox 360 remote in, and I was actually on my way into GameStop when I went to the sale, so I just traded that remote in and that game, and then grabbed something else that day that I'll show later in this video. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, $50, I got all that. And then the guy also threw in this little, it's called a melodica. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a recorder, but my daughter was walking around playing it at the sale, and he's like, if it's not going to drive you too crazy, go ahead and take that too. And a complete in the box Lego Spider-Man set, like Lego versus Dr. Octopus, with a little truck that my daughter wanted as well, and he pretty much just threw those two things in for free since I got all the games for $50. And so that's everything I got on Friday from there. And like I said, Sunday he started posting, like, re-updating his ads or whatever, and by the time I got off work today at about 3, he had posted all the games that he had left for $2 a piece. So I went there right after work, and I got a pretty good stack, I'd say, today as well. I spent $35 this afternoon, and he kind of hooked it up again a little bit. He didn't, like, I had a stack of Game Boy games and stuff, and he's like added everything up and said 38. And I was like, actually, I was going to put 2 of them back. That I was going to put Oddworld back, and I think it was Dragon Ball Z, but he said just to take them. So I got a couple added in. But yeah, so I'll start with the Game Boy. I got Oddworld Adventures, which is pretty cool. I like the Oddworld games, and I honestly thought this was like a bootleg or something. I had no idea they made any Oddworld games for the Game Boy. So that one will be pretty cool to try out. I got Tetris 2, which I have never played this game. But, you know, Tetris, can't go wrong. Some of these have, like, I don't know, this guy was a collector, so there's all kinds of different names on some of the games. Had a little $2 price tag, and Kostansky. So, seems like a fitting name for Tetris. Made in Russia, as far as I know. And then, I got Spot, the video game, which I remember playing this one when I was younger on the Game Gear. I had borrowed my neighbor's Game Gear a few times, and I think it was a different Spot game, though, because my girlfriend played this for a few minutes, and she said it was like backgammon, like kind of like a puzzle game. But either way, It's a cool spot, you know. And then Frogger for the Game Boy. Classic. Had to grab that. Bulking up the Game Boy collection. I don't see those games very often anywhere, so it was cool to find all these. And then I got some Game Boy Advance. This time I got Dragon Ball Z Taiketsu, I think that's called. I grabbed this thinking it might be worth some money with it being Dragon Ball Z, you know, and like the Tenkaichi 3 is worth a bunch, but it's only like actually one of the cheapest games I got the whole sale. It was only worth about $4, but it seems pretty neat. I fired it up, and it's like a fighting game with some decent graphics for a Game Boy Advance. And I don't know if I picked the wrong fighter or something. I'm not a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, so I can't remember the guy's name that I picked. But I tried doing one fight, and I fought against Piccolo, and Piccolo was one-hit killing me. Like both rounds in a row. He'd hit me like with one punch, and I was done. So I got that, and I got Crash Bandicoot's Huge Adventure, which is cool. I love Crash Bandicoot. Try and collect as many of those as I can, I guess, now. And I got Lord of the Rings, The Third Age. I've never played this on the Advance. I remember playing it, I think, on like PS2 back in the day, and it was kind of like a RPG, Lord of the Rings game, which was really fun. So, see what that's like for the Game Boy Advance. And another game I never really knew about, Super Monkey Ball Jr. The Monkey Ball games are pretty cool, so figured that was worth a shot for $2. And then got the NES Classic Series Donkey Kong classic game there, you know, so that's awesome to add. And this one, I had never heard of this for whatever reason, just by the name of it, and, you know, never hearing of it before. I thought it was worth a shot, and I like tactics type games, so this is called Rebel Star Tactical Command. And after getting home and looking everything up, this one's actually worth about $12.50 or so loose, so one of the more expensive games out of all the Game Boy games I picked up. And then another, I already have a complete in box copy of this game, but for $2, you know, Professor Layton and the Diabolical Box is I figure that's a good one. It's not worth a ton, but it's worth about $7 or $8. Be something I can possibly trade in the future for something else. So got all those. And then I got some more PS2 Giant Citizen Kabuto. I'm not too familiar with this game. I've read about it a few times. It's complete here with the book and everything. It kind of looks like a RTS, like a real-time strategy sort of game. And it sounds kind of fun. So I grabbed that. I had this game before in the past that I found at the Goodwill outlets, but it was missing the manual, and I ended up selling it for super cheap, probably about the same price I paid for it back then. But I've noticed it's gone up in price by about $4 or $5 since then. It seems to sell fairly regularly, so I grabbed this one because it's complete. Cold Winter, which is I don't know, it's a first-person shooter type game, and I don't know, seems worth a shot. So that's worth about $12.50 as well, complete. So got that. Been looking for this one for a while actually too. Been building my Wii collection for a bit, and seen this at GameStop before, but it's always in one of those generic GameStop cases, and it's like $7. So found it complete, the original case and everything. Mushroom Men Spore Wars. I've heard Les Claypool does the soundtrack to this, and I'm a big Primus fan, so that game seems really cool. And this is another Wii game that I've heard about before, but I'm not too sure, like, what kind of game it even is. From the screenshots on the back, it almost looks like a shooter type game or something, like not a first-person shooter, but like one of those space shooters. I don't know. It's called Saint, though. That one's complete and kind of an obscure game, I guess. I've never seen it anywhere. I've heard about it a few times online, so I grabbed that. I got one GameCube game. Got the first Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, which is in pretty decent shape. The case artwork on the back's a little bit beat up, but that one's got the manual and everything. That's like a $10 game as well. And then, happy to always add to my PS3 collection. It's mainly what I collect for. This is, I believe, the last God of War game that I needed to besides the PS4 one that came out last year or whatever, because I don't have a PS4. But God of War Ascension, excited for that. And then Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus, pretty stoked on that one too. Ratchet games are always fun. I didn't know, there's a lot for the PS3. I didn't really know how many they made, but I've got a couple already and don't have that, so added that. And then Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, that one's complete. You know, Need for Speed, usually can't go wrong with those. And then lastly for PS3, I got Minecraft, which I picked this game up a few weeks ago at Goodwill. And this one's just going to be, probably honestly just going to trade it into GameStop, because I think they do $7.70 in credit for this game right now, which is not bad for getting it for $2. That was one of the other doubles. And then I got a disc-only Crash Bash, which I believe this is the only Crash Bandicoot game for the regular PlayStation that I needed to grab. So that's super cool to find that. I haven't tested any of these ones out that I got today. Well, besides I did all the Game Boys and the Game Boy Advances. Those all work fine. But I'm gonna go test after I make this video, check out all the disc-based games and see if they work. And then, so I grabbed all that, everything I showed, $35, and then he had a free pile, which these are all in pretty bad shape, pretty terrible cases, but I got Untold Legends, Warriors Code, Dynasty Warriors for PSP. Cool to find PSP games, especially for free. And then I'm just gonna see if I can show this whole stack here. These are all like a lot of disc only. Tron, Killer App 2.0, Midnight Club 2, Rock Band Track Pack Volume 2, Connect Adventures. Just like a lot of games that aren't really anything special, but for free, I'll, use these to probably, I don't know, might take them to the game store. I might keep a few of them. We'll see. Like Kessen and Kessen 2, I remember playing those back in the day, and those were pretty fun. So I might hold on to those. And then these two Wii games are like Shaun White snowboarding and Baja 1000 or something like that. Nothing too crazy, but again, for free. I was like, yeah, anything you're going to want to give away for free, I'll take it. And so, I spent $85 this weekend in total at that garage sale. And, Tenkaichi's worth about $50 alone. I already traded in that Champions and got $880 credit. And then just the games that I paid for today, I went through price charting and did like a rough estimate, and they're worth $170. So I could probably easily make my money back on these and keep a lot of this stuff if I wanted, but for the most part, I think I'm just gonna hang on to it all. It's all cool, like pretty sweet stuff I wanted to put in my collection. And you know, if Tenkaichi doesn't work after it gets resurfaced, honestly, probably just gonna take it to GameStop and get like 20 credit for it. Or I don't know, hang on to that. Maybe, seems like the shop near me doesn't have the best resurfacer, so maybe I'll wait until I can get up to Vancouver again and have Double Jump resurface, because they have a really good machine there that's always fixed my games when I've had them do it. So, and yeah, I just thought, I know it's only been a couple days since I made a video, but those pretty sweet finds, so just throwing that out there, and hope you all enjoyed watching. Peace out. Till next time.